Hello and welcome to another weekly update. And this week was interesting. The week for talking about Microsoft Ignite. So Ignite 2018, it's Microsoft's Developer and IT Pro conference. It's held over 4 days in September, towards the end of September, in Orlando. And the reason I was talking about it this week is because this week the session catalogue is out, and that is our first chance really to see the sessions that Microsoft have chosen to show at this event. So that resulted in me doing a couple of blog posts. The first of those was talking about Skype for Business and Microsoft Teams developers, and which of those sessions I thought would be useful for those guys. And it's a kind of an interesting one because the session catalogue is out, and it's, there's I think something like 629 sessions out at the moment, which is loads, which is ridiculous. It's amazing. But that's probably not all. We can expect more sessions to be added over time as well. So this is kind of a snapshot as of now, and it's really sort of a snapshot as of this week. And so what I did was look through the session catalogue, pick out the sessions that I thought would be interesting for Skype for Business and for Teams developers, and I put them all into a blog post with some commentary. There's some good stuff there. There's a kind of State of the Nation speech, which is always worth going to for Teams because Teams changes so quickly. And then there's some deep dives as well into doing things with apps on Teams as well. So there's some good ones there. I'm going to kind of keep an eye on the sessions as well, and try and sort of track new sessions that get added. And if sessions get added that I think are good for developers, I'll be sure to point them out as well. And kind of looking through the session catalogue, that led me really to look at all the different things that are happening across the board for Skype for Business and Teams, not just developer picks, but kind of across the board. So that led to my second blog post this week, which kind of broke down all the sessions that were something to do with Skype for Business or Teams, and then trying to kind of categorise them into different types of thing. And what I mean by that is just general team stuff, or transitioning to Teams, or strategy and user adoption, or deployment, or management, or the real deep dives under the hood stuff, or extensibility, or indeed things divided by verticals, so like healthcare, governance, finance, public service, whatever. There's a lot of good sessions here. I think there's kind of 40 or so sessions that have Teams in the title, so there's plenty to kind of get your teeth stuck into. And so I kind of go into some detail there about the sessions to look out for at Ignite. And then the final blog post I did this week was really kind of by the numbers. So I took all the information I could find about the session catalogue and threw it all together and put it all into Power BI and tried to kind of pull out some interesting stats. So the first thing I did was put everything into a word cloud, all the tags. So when you submit a session to Ignite, you can specify some tags that kind of describe that session. So took all those tags, put them in a massive word cloud, and see what came out across all of Ignite. And it was interesting. Management, deployment, compliance. Compliance is interesting. The whole world of GDPR. It's interesting to see compliance showing up quite a lot. Intelligence and adoption. Windows is in there, which is interesting to some. Windows maybe has fallen off the radar a little bit recently for Microsoft, it feels like, but actually back front and center. And actually I think if you did this last year, and I didn't, but I kind of wish I had now, I think you'd see AI and you'd see quantum. Those were the really big thrusts of last year's Ignite. And maybe it was a little bit too forward-facing at the time. It's hard to know, but this Ignite feels like it's much more boots on the ground. The kind of production stuff that people are wrestling with today. So there's a couple of graphs and charts and things in the blog post. There's a roughly even split between 45-minute breakouts and 75-minute breakouts. That's kind of interesting to know. Most of the content will be pure sessions, but there are also some community sessions, some showcases, some exam prep stuff. There's a bunch of different things going on. So I thought it was interesting to kind of pull those charts and things together, really to kind of give some insight into what Ignite is going to look like this year. Okay, there's two other blog posts I didn't do this week that I really wanted to do, that I'm going to try and do next week if I can find the time. So this is your advanced preview, if you like, to those. The first, I am going to do a blog post telling you how I got this information. There's a lot of information here about all the sessions, and I want to do a blog post about how I got that and how I ingested it and how I put it into Power BI, because I think it's an interesting blog post. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. And then the other blog post I'm going to do, I think, is for Ignite, for people who are not going to Ignite. So it looks unlikely that I'll be going to Ignite this year, unless somebody wants to find me a speaking session or something like that. So what I want to do, so it's funny, like I didn't go to Ignite last year, and actually I had one of the best Ignite experiences ever. The quality of the way the sessions are streamed and made available now is amazing. So I want to do a blog post for people who are not going to Ignite. So look out for that. I hope to do that this week coming, and then talk about it next week. Right, that's everything I want to talk about this week. I'm going to let you go and enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'm going to try and do the same. Have a great run, and I will speak to you again next week.